live in global society, a kind of person to work for development. Well, this is not, I'm not going to, but each stakeholder, state, economic sector, social sector, cultural sector, they have many domains of interest and kind of education which have to be implemented to meet such, to satisfy such interests are listed here. Well, if ACCU is kind enough to later to put this PowerPoint in the, somewhere in the report, you may kind of use this. Second one is planet Earth is not the sector, but planet Earth is a cry for their own survival. And also global world community is also crying. And now we have civil society's demand for more, producing more persons qualified to deal with such demand of civil society. And finally, education sector, it's also not unified sector. It continues to be divided by some interest. Japan at one stage wanted to relieve the children's burden, and we eased the curriculum. And then immediately, a few years later, OECD's international comparison showed Japan's rank is lowered down. Minister immediately said, change it. You must work also on Saturday. You know, so this is a reality. We have to work. Are we working for the interest of children, or are we working for the politicians' satisfaction? This is a big problem.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Now, lastly, I would like to leave with you with my new poem.
New poem.
Which I started to work out for this morning. Now, for whom the very tall, you know the famous Hemingway, but in 2015, for someone pessimist, cynical person, this very tall for certain crisis theory to the crisis. For example, economic situation in the United States, Euro region, and situation in Syria, Afghanistan, burning today, can really achieve such goal and set up some workable objective in 2015, saying I'd like to shift the change from point from global development advocacy specialist to a children's case. Children in war-torn mountain villages yearning to go to schools to learn instead of taking up arms and fight for survival. What chances exist for their dream come true? Girls and women in traditional villages yearning to go to village CLCs to learn instead of staying home only for household chores. What chances exist to come out and learn? Well, you can understand EFA and ESD synergy, a long way to go to reach them.
It's a challenge. It's a challenge.
Children in concrete jungle of megalopolis, so etc. Yearning to play with friends in the field instead of preparing for tests till late under pressure. What chances exist to have more meaningful life? Well, my grandchildren are also suffering. Children in schools filled with violence. This is very serious in Japan. Yearning to enjoy school life with friends instead of struggling hard to defend and survive. What chances exist to return to normal school life. Well, EFA is not a quantitative target. If Japan, or maybe I'm sorry to say refer to Korea, but if we are to be classified as those countries achieved the EFA statistically, but the actual classroom situation is most disastrous. Learning is not taking place. Now in Japan, many people commit suicides. And the education sectors cannot cope with, and now it is the police who are coming in to ensure. And then even become court case. You see, so what education after, as long as there are some undue pressures are relieved from children's shoulder, this will be very difficult. So if EFA is only to increase excessive competition, well, you have to face it. Because parents all want children to be in good university, successful in life, but they have to face a very tough competition and what happens afterwards. Disquieting future of the ESD goal, because, as I said, European countries may not be able to finance not much development cooperation. Americans are very tightening their purse. Japan is also tightening purse. Maybe remaining generous countries, South Korea and China. So situation is rather gloomy. Disquieting future of EFA-ESD goal, education is to be seen in a long perspective for achieving meaningful learning for all, instead of being subjected to partisan interest. What chances exist to more promote genuine vision? Well, responsibility rests on you between now and 2015. It is your responsibility. Regional cooperation is so exciting in Asia Pacific in mobilizing all four joint work as equal partners instead of high-handed pressure from outside. What chances exist to convey our message? It's no good just talking to among ourselves. We must tell the message, send the message to those back door, somewhere in Washington or somewhere. How wonderful our experience is. We must convey our truth to those who are drafting new strategy. Now, this region has a responsibility to place our message in the process of international consultation. I think we need someone of great caliber to represent the region, to advocate region's aspiration for the future. EFA-ESD synergy requires a new vision of hope, embodying all lessons learned in the past. Instead of looking at the immediate present, what chances exist to enlist to highlight core values? EFA-ESD synergy will have the two pillar concepts for safeguarding the human life and the earth. Instead of listing up numerous values, what chances exist to realize Kyosei of all? Kyosei, to live together, is a powerful vision to ensure EFA-ESD synergy. Now, I'd like to conclude my long final comment with prayer for our pioneers. We pledge to our respected pioneers, Monrompin, Rajaroshin, Ryojito, in the heaven, to work in unity to achieve our EFA-ESD goal. please watch us from the heaven and bless us. We will ensure for the better future for all. We will toll the bell in 2015 from Asia Pacific. New leadership of the region at the level of our three great pioneers is urgently needed to take the leading role in international concentration on the basis of our rich experience. Thank you very much.
Professor Chiba was born in the very, very central part of Tokyo, very close to the Imperial Palace. Because of the bombing of Tokyo during the World War II, his family decided to evacuate him to a rural town up north in Japan. And according to him, that experience really changed his life course. Other than that, he might be a very rich businessman, selling stock, buying stock, making billions. But instead of that, he decided to join in the cause for education.
Yeah.
So he decided his career as an official in Ministry of Education. But his desire was too big to be confined in the national domain, so he decided to work in UNESCO. As Dr. Kasama's keynote speech showed, he was the instrumental in Jomtien Conference, in preparation and in implementation of Jomtien Conference as Deputy Director of UNESCO Bangkok office. He retired from UNESCO as a position of the ADG, Assistant Director General of UNESCO, which is number 2 rank of UNESCO, as a coordinating role with the external agencies. After retirement from UNESCO, he became the professor of International Christian University in Japan. There he formed his literacy club, literacy seminar, where he produced so many young people who has skill and heart and attitude and value in literacy and what is important in education. And actually, Mr. Nagata is one of these young people. So usually introduction to the keynote speaker comes before the keynote speech, but in a way of thank you. Yes, I did it now, and this book that he published is called A Dreaming Grandpa. It shows him, he was 5 years ago with his father in the central part of Tokyo. So I will pass this book around, and this book again is inspiration of so many children that you can achieve in your life. So this is in Japanese. No translation.